How is everyone today?
Well, how are you?
Good, thank you for asking. Just kind of want to start this with asking, has anyone been to therapy before? No one's been? Mom, you haven't?
No.
No? Okay. So, well, welcome. Thank you for showing up today. We're going to begin this with just some introductions and kind of explaining the process of therapy so we're all on the same page. So, my name is Quincy. I am an intern here at 40 Carrots. I am in the master's level program at the University of South Florida. So, what that means as an intern is that I will be doing these therapy sessions, and I will go to a supervisor who is licensed to kind of make sure that I'm on the right page and, I'm doing the best work that I can for you all. So, I know I spoke to you on the phone, Amy, your mom, and I haven't been able to speak to either of you. So, what was your name?
It's Sarah.
Sarah, nice to meet you.
I'm Nikki.
Nikki, nice to meet you. So, Nikki, you're 17, right?
That's right.
And you're 15, right, Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pretty cool. Okay. So, with this, we're going to kind of dive into confidentiality. Have either of you heard that word before?
Mm-hmm.
Confidentiality. Okay. So, to kind of explain it, how it's going to work for us is that everything that is discussed in this room stays in this room, unless you speak of hurting yourself or someone else, and that includes, younger individuals or older adults. So, anyone kind of under that umbrella that is vulnerable, that is something that I do have to report on because I'm a mandated reporter. It's very important to me that everyone here is safe and everyone that we interact with is safe. Along with that, some other things that I have to report on is because I'm a mandated reporter, the age of consent in Florida is 16 and older for any sexual activity. So if you are 15 and younger, that means that you cannot consent to sex. So if anyone discloses that they're having sexual intercourse, 15 and younger, that is something that I'm going to have to report to the authorities. So I just want to make that clear across the board so that we're being honest and open and everything.
Yeah, Sarah, anything you want to tell us?
No.
Okay. Let's just make sure that we're, in these sessions, we're really speaking on our own stories too. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about consent or confidentiality?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. So I know that you were referred here through the court. Mom, do you care maybe diving in a little bit more, kind of your perspective?
Yes, well, I just received a phone call that Nikki was caught with alcohol at school, and basically we're required to come to these therapy sessions to make sure that she gets back on track with everything. So I just want to make sure that we're doing the right things, and with everything that's happened this past year, with my husband, their father passing away, it has been very difficult, but I want to make sure that she has the support she needs to not do unhealthy things for her, and that can get in the way of her future. She has a lot of good things going for her.
I think the whole thing is overblown completely. I mean, I'm 17, I'm almost an adult, and life is short, so what's the big deal if I had a little bit of alcohol? I'm gonna be graduating soon anyways. This is so ridiculous.
And you are almost an adult, but even the legal drinking age isn't 21, and having it on school property is completely irresponsible.
Well, I mean, it's also stupid. What if I don't even live to the age of 21?
So I'm going to chime in for a second, actually. I think both of your perspectives has a lot of truth to it, and has a lot of honesty in it. So, Mom stating that you're not 21 yet, and it sounds like, she really is understanding how capable you are as a young individual and how much you have going for you, after high school, and they're so far after. So, at this age, getting in trouble with the law can be really vital, or it can be very damaging. So bringing alcohol to school, I definitely understand what you're saying, where it's, it's not a big deal. You are almost an adult, but because the age to be able to drink is 21, it is pretty serious. Does that make sense?
I think everybody just needs to lighten up. Like, I think we should just, I don't know, I think, like, mandate therapy was just, like, a little bit much. Why can't I just get a slap on the wrist and it's fine?
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I really actually appreciate your honesty about it and kind of where you're coming from. I hope that out of these discussions, you're able to take something from it. So throughout this whole process, please be honest with me. If something isn't working, let me know, and we'll try and navigate around that. So we heard kind of what Mom's feeling, her perspective. I heard a little bit, Nikki, your perspective. How are you feeling, Sarah?
I feel fine. I don't really care what she does. I just don't want them fighting about it so much.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. Since this was something that was mandated for Nikki to come, Mom thought it was important that you are also involved in these therapy sessions. Do you feel comfortable about being, things that are going on and discussing those things?
I don't really think like I should have to be here, really. I think they can kind of figure out their own stuff on their own without me, because them fighting has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Do you feel like that's accurate of kind of the dynamic that's going on in the household?
Yeah, I would say that Nikki and I, we have the most tension. We get in the most arguments at home, and Sarah's an angel. She always does. She does everything that she's supposed to do, but she does seem a bit withdrawn. So I figured that while we're all coming here, that it would be beneficial for us as a family.
I mean, I just
to
feel
be
like
included.
my mom just has, like, a blatant bias.
What are those feelings that are being brought up in you right now?
I mean, even just what she said, like, Sarah's an angel, so what? I'm devil. I'm the bad kid. Like, that's not fair.
That's not what I said.
That's okay. Well, that's what you're implying.
I can definitely understand where those words are maybe a little confusing. When she says those things, do you feel that that's true? That maybe you are the devil in the family?
I don't think it's true. I just wish that, like, my mom didn't make automatic, like, bad assumptions about me. You know what I mean? Like Sarah's just perfect and can't do anything wrong.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I just feel like, Sarah, like, Mom never says anything bad to Sarah, and then, like, I get in trouble and I just want to, like, get out of the house and go have fun with my friends, and, like, just so much. Why is, like, all the pressure on me? And, like, I'm almost an adult, like, shouldn't I be allowed to, like, go and do what I want and, like, have some fun? And, like, if she thinks I'm the bad kid anyways, then what does it matter if I get in trouble?
I did not say that you're the bad kid. I said that if you make a decision to bring alcohol onto your school property, you're going to get in trouble. So I just want to make sure that doesn't happen again, because you do have such a great future ahead of you, and you typically are very responsible.
But if you don't want people to think that you're bad, then you shouldn't do bad things.
Whatever.
Okay. So a lot of honesty is happening right now. A lot of communication, which I think is good and healthy. I think that there's specific words that are being said that feel very personal. And I think that there is something that we do within therapy. And it's specifically called narrative therapy. Has anyone heard of that? Okay. Do you care if I explain a little bit about it? So, within narrative therapy, to encounter the way society convinces people that they are their problems, narrative therapists externalize problems instead of having a problem or being a problem. So you all are encouraged to think of yourselves as struggling against their problems. Neither the patient or the families are the problem is the problem. So some things that I'm hearing is that right now, correct me if I'm wrong, Nikki, you feel like you are the problem because Sarah is being perceived as not the problem.
I mean, I don't think I'm the problem. I think my mom treats me like I'm the problem.
Okay. What do you feel is the problem?
I think the problem is just like mom's changed so much since dad died. You know, like she's so uptight now, and like I just miss like the old happy mom.
Okay. So what are some of those feelings that's resonating inside of you?
Probably like sadness.
Sadness for that loss of happiness that you feel like your mom, isn't able to portray right now after the loss of, her husband?
Yeah, like sadness, like the things have changed so much since dad died, and like mom's so different, and like I'm just trying to, enjoy my life while I still have it, and like she's making it hard for me.
Hearing that, Mom, what are some feelings and thoughts that resonates with you after hearing what Nikki had to say?
Well, I think that it's true, things have changed. It has been difficult, to say the least, adjusting to our completely different world after he passed away. And I think that the girls, that Nikki should have a little bit more empathy for what I'm going through, trying to keep up with the household and raise 2 children. And some of the things that have happened, they are like, we have to take accountability for our actions. You can't show up to school with alcohol. You have to take accountability for that, and it's not me making her life more difficult, getting in the way of her having fun and hanging out with her friends. She's making decisions that are leading to the situation she's in.
Well, she's just on my case all the time.
So they both think the other one's the problem.
Well, she just needs to lighten up.
Within narrative therapy, the problem is the problem, the person is not the problem. So the problem here is that you are wanting some more freedom, correct?
Yes.
Mom, the problem is that you want Nikki to make better choices.
Yes.
Sarah, what is a problem that you feel is happening right now?
I just want them to stop fighting.
And understandable. But the people are not the problem is the problem. So what would you think?
And I don't want any more fighting in my house.
Okay, so the fighting is the problem. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, does that make sense that the problem is the problem and the person is not the problem? Does that make sense for everyone?
Yes and no, because isn't the person doing the problem thing?
True. Within narrative therapy, it's a specific way of thinking. It's just because, that one story has dominated your life, it doesn't mean it's the only story. So, although certain individuals are making certain, decisions, that doesn't have to be your whole story right now. So, although Nikki made a mistake of bringing alcohol to school, and that is what is causing disagreements and arguments, that's not your whole story. You are a family who loves each other, who is going through something that is extremely difficult, and who right now is coming together to have a better understanding for one another and to show up better for each other. So that is multiple stories. So it's kind of like not getting fixated on one specific thing that's happening. And that specific thing is why you are here today. And that's court ordered because there was alcohol that was brought to school. Does that make sense? Okay. So, I want to give you a little bit, we're going to try something in session today, and then we're going to further it as homework and you're gonna bring it to bless you. We're gonna bring it to session next week. Okay. So I'm gonna give you each a piece of paper, and if you would like, you can pick out whatever color is best for you. If you don't mind passing that for me. And then you can pick out a color. For Nikki. Okay, perfect. And you all kind of got pink. Love that. So, this is called step-by-step intervention. So, you're gonna write one word on the piece of paper right now. And when I'm reading you this, kind of think of one word that you're feeling right now. That is the problem. So in narrative therapy, we often say you are not the problem is the problem. So instead of seeing the issue as part of who you are, we look at it as something outside of you, something that's affecting you, like a character in your story. This can make it easier to understand and deal with. So, step by step, identify the problem story. What problem has been showing up most in your life lately? One word. If that problem had a name, what would you call it? So give that problem a new name. It can be a silly name, it can be just another human name, it could be a color, it could be an emotion, whatever you want that problem, name it something else. Now we are going to externalize the problem. We're going to ask the problem, when did your problem's name first show up in your life? When did this start happening? When did the problem start happening? Ask yourself, what does it try to tell you or make you believe about yourself? How does it affect your day-to-day life, your choices, your relationships? How does your problem affect all of these things going on in your life right now? Does it show up more in certain places or with certain people? I'm going to give you an example because I know I just threw a lot at you. When the inner critic shows up, so that's the little voice inside of you that is telling you that a situation or a certain aspect of you is wrong. So I overthink. When that shows up, what does it say to you? What does it make you feel? How do you usually respond? So my inner problem is that I overthink. I'm going to name it Tabitha. What does it say to me? It says that I am someone who is not someone who can just relax, who can just go with the flow, because I'm always overthinking and it makes me feel like I'm worthless. And I usually respond with telling myself that I am worthless. So, up until this point, you should have written down your problem, you should have renamed it, and then kind of discovering, when does this problem occur? What does this problem say about you or to you? The next thing we're going to do is explore expectations to the problem story. Are there times when the problem doesn't have as much power over you? My overthinking doesn't have much power over me when I am reading a book, when I'm by myself. What do you do differently in those moments? What helps you reset it? Here's an example. Can you think of a time when the problem was quiet, or when you pushed back against it? What was different then? And then last, strengthen the preferred story. What does your response to the problem say about what matters to you? My problem is that I overthink. The problem says that it's important to me that I'm being understood. What do you want your relationship with your problem to be like in the future? What kind of story do you want to be telling yourself? And this is important because by standing up to your problem, you are showing courage and self-worth. What does that say about the kind of person you are? How are we feeling right now? Sarah?
I don't think I did it really good.
That's okay. This is not something that is easy to do. It's not something that anyone can be perfect of. It's really hard to kind of look at a certain situation or thing that's going, differently in our life and to kind of ask it questions. So we're gonna wrap up our session a little bit today. I'm gonna give you some homework for next week. You are able to look at your story, and if you feel like you didn't do it well enough, maybe go through it again. Maybe you have a different problem you want to kind of write about. And if you feel like sharing it with one another, you're definitely more welcome to do that. If you want to wait until next session and share it, or not at all, it's up to you. It's your story. But over the week, I'm going to have you all write a letter to the problem. And this is expressing maybe your anger towards your problem, your defiance, or boundaries. You're going to create a new story title for your life based on the strength or resilience against that problem. How does that all sound?
This sounds like a good plan.
Okay. So we all feel a little good about this process? Okay. All right. I want to thank you all for showing up today. I know it's not the easiest. I know things being court ordered is not fun to do. Someone's making you do it. But I'm very proud of you all, how you were able to show up for each other and communicate in whatever form you're able to do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.